confidence isn't actually what you think it is. Today, most people talk a lot about a lot of different topics when it comes to being confident and knowing what to do and experience and becoming the kind of guy that is supremely confident in his own ability. Not just when it comes to past experiences and the earned confidence that you gain from experiencing different things throughout life, but also the confidence that comes from being delusional enough to think that you can do whatever you want and factually you could do things. I heard this this podcast between these two different people. It's kind of more like an interview, I guess you could say. And one of them said, well, like, what do you want to do? And he said, well, technically I can get rich. Factually, I can go to the moon. Factually, I can get rich. I can get a bunch of money. I can get a Lamborghini. I can be super strong. I can be all of these things, and I can go to the moon if I want to. Factually, I could. And the guy says, no, like, define that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what does that look like? And he pauses, he looks back at the other guy, and he says, factually, I could. And that is one of the most strongest forms of confidence that you can have. The simple fact of knowing that another person has done it before you and that you can also get it done as well makes everything much easier to actually think about, right? Now, you have to think for yourself first, what is it that you want? And has anybody else ever attained that before? Is it within the realms of science? Is it within the realms of attainability? Within the realms of fact and logic? Because if it is, technically, factually, you could get it. If there are rich people on this planet, factually, you could be rich. If people have already been to the moon, factually, you could go to the moon. If somebody has already bought a Lamborghini before, factually, you could buy a Lamborghini, right? And by taking this concept to its very extreme, you get to do a lot of things. You get to sit down and you get to pick and choose what you want to do, right? And this is very interesting because there are a lot of people that take this in two different ways. You can take this in two different ways, technically. You've got the people who are going to take it in a very literal way, in a very, I can get anything I want done because somebody else has done it before me kind of way. Or you'll have the other people that use that fact that it's an excuse. They'll use the fact that it's too hard or that it's something that, oh yeah, but it's just somebody else did that, but I don't want to do it, or whatever. To just mask the fact that they don't want to do it because they're afraid, or they're a coward, or they're just simply not driven enough to do more things. They're not very ambitious with what they want out of life. Because being ambitious is good. It's a good thing. Now, there's a lot of people that say like, oh yeah, being ambitious is bad. Those people who say that being ambitious is bad because they are ambitious themselves and they don't want other people to be ambitious because they know how hungry somebody can get when they are ambitious and they know how the other people around them can do better than they do, and then they get jealous of the fact that other people can do better, and when they do better they feel even more shit because they're like, oh, this guy thinks he's better than me, da da da. And the only person they have to blame is themselves. But you need to understand that being confident isn't just about summoning out of thin air this energy and just thinking to yourself, I'm the best. Being confident, for the most part, comes from lived experiences, lived things. It comes from you taking action day after day, doing things, going through things. Like, for instance, I became more confident at dating other women by the simple fact of facing that first initial rejection, facing that initial fear, facing that initial anxiousness and stress that I had about approaching the dating market. And I had to face that. I had to face rejection, and I had to face failing a couple times in the short term in order to get better in the long term, right? Every single time I approached a woman, from the very first one to the ones I approach today, the gap between those has been completely changed and is completely different. Because every single time I've done something, I've added another layer of experience and exposure and action on top of my first initial foundation, right? I just add another layer, add another layer, add another layer. Just boom, 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 boom. And the more you do this, the more your skill is going to increase. And then you get what's called earned confidence. I'll give you a little bit of an example. When I first started learning a high income skill 4 years ago and building my business, fleshing it out, understanding what needed to be done, I went through a lot of different things. Not only did I work with a couple of my friends, which was the first easy way into getting some first initial experience and some testimonials. I worked with one of my friends who was a photographer. Great dude, really like him, really appreciate him. And I remember when we first met, I think we first met on CSGO or Rainbow Six Siege or something like that, some kind of FPS shooter game, strategy wise, whatever. And every single time, we would have fun with him. I would have fun with him, my friends. We would have this group of people that we would always hang out with. And it used to be always the same kind of people, right? So we got together one day and I said hey, I've been learning this skill. I would really like to apply it and to test it and to really get some experience with it and get a couple of testimonials. And I was wondering if you knew anybody that would be interested in that. And he said oh, actually, I'm actually developing my my photography portfolio, and I would really appreciate it if you can actually do that for me. Can we sit down and have a chat about it? And I said, yeah, sure. So we had a chat about it, and after a couple weeks, we set up a couple things, and then I started doing social media content for him, and I started helping him improve his page, develop his page, get more followers, get more views, get more exposure, and slowly we started building his account on Instagram. And we went from, I helped him go from 1,300, 1,500 followers to now he's at, when I stopped working with him, he was around 8,600 and something, or 8,700 and something. And when I look back at the account today, he's around 9,500, I think, something like that. And as you can see, that period of time over the course of a year that I helped him grow was the most significant jump from barely 1,000 followers to 8,000 followers. That's a pretty substantial jump that he would have been able to do, but if not for me, he would have struggled for a much longer time. Like, I was there to help him do better, faster, more efficiently, push things. And thanks to that testimonial and that case study that I got from him, I managed to go talk to other business owners and say, hey, I've done this for this guy. We had a pretty good success. So if you want, I can do the same thing for you. And then it just snowballed from there. So it was very, very interesting going from not knowing what the fuck I was doing to applying my skills on a day-to-day basis to, first off, a photographer, next off, let's say, I helped another friend of mine who's a sports coach back in France, and then from there helped a barbershop here, then helped a barbershop across the street, whatever it may be, okay? Helped a lot of different people. Like, I helped a couple people in the US, I helped a couple people in Australia, I helped a couple people in New Zealand. And so now, all of these different case studies, they get together and they form this ball, right? This ball that I can pick from, and I can be like, this is what I've done. And I feel confident in my ability to provide because I did a good job. I didn't half-ass it. I really pushed as hard as I could in order to get great results for my friends and for the businesses that I worked with in the past. And so by the simple fact of me having done that, it has gained me an earned sense of confidence. Whenever I go to a meeting with a client, I say, oh yeah, this is da 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 da. And then they're like, huh, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. And so it's much, much better when you actually push yourself to do better, to do more. Because when you show up to another meeting, people actually see the value that you're providing, right? And then what ends up happening is you talk to them and then they convince themselves, oh, this guy's actually great. This guy's actually exactly what I was looking for. And you don't even have to sell them on anything because they can see that you have value to provide. Like, this is one of the most important things that I've noticed. Not only in terms of how confident you are, but how persuaded you are about your own skill level, about how you can provide value, about you can get this done better than anybody else. And the simple fact of them feeling that energy whenever you're having a chat with them and having that exchange, they can really feel like, okay, this guy might actually be a really massive advantage if I had him on my side. And if you meet the right people at the right time and they give you a shot and they're like, okay, you're gonna help me do this, and then we go over it and then we start making a boatload of more money, they're like, okay, this guy was absolutely the best investment I've ever made. So what if I just gave him more money? What would happen if I just gave him all of it? And then we just scale from there. And we do more projects and we get more results and we do better and we scale and we grow and we do more things. That's what I help businesses do. So by the simple facts of me sitting down with business owners and knowing what the fuck I'm talking about, they will trust me way more than some fucking random Indian on the phone. Hello sir, today do you want marketing? No, like, they're not gonna trust you. But if I come in and I say, okay, tell me a little bit about this, and then they talk to me about the story, like what the fuck they were doing, all this sort of stuff, all the details, and then I say, okay, have you tried doing this? And they're like, yeah, I guess. What kind of results did you get from it? And they say like, oh, not really good. And then I say, have you tried doing it this way? Do you know why it failed? And then they're like, not really, actually. And so it's like, do you mind if I take a look at it and I can tell you why it failed? And it's like, okay, take a look at it, boom. Okay, this is why it failed. This is how you make it better. Test this idea and you will thank me later. And they're like, okay, interesting. And then I said, like, if you want, I can do it for you for this price. Shouldn't take too much time, honestly. you don't have to do anything. I'll do everything for you if you want. Otherwise, we can do a couple of things. First off, I can prepare something for you if you want, and you can run it yourself, and you just have to figure everything out for yourself. But I understand that might not be the best option for you because you have a lot going on right now. So instead, what I recommend is I can do everything for you for a little higher fee. In exchange, I'll prepare everything. The only thing we have to do is talk every couple of days or every couple of weeks or so, and make sure everything is set up, analyze all the data, and otherwise you don't have to do anything. Everything's done for you. And the other last option I have is if you're really interested. Now, I don't recommend this because we haven't really worked with each other yet, so we don't really know if we're going to be a good fit and so on. So I recommend not really going with this one, but if you want to go with this one, you can. Like, I'm not against it. Basically, I'll help you do all of what I talked about so far, and I'll also take a look at your entire business and let you know what we can do other than what I just pitched right now. Like right now, the most important thing you have to do is this, but I'm willing to go ahead and look deeper into your business, look ahead at like everything, and become more of your strategic partner on the long run. If you want to bring me some ideas, I'll let you know if it's a good idea or if it's a bad idea, what would be a good thing to test right now, what would be a bad thing to test right now, based on my understanding of the local market. And then they'll look at me and they'll be like, I have 3 options. The second option sounds really good. It sounds like a really good initial test to see if this guy's actually trustworthy and is actually a man of his word or not. And the last option would be really interesting as soon as I get that, you know? So let's go with the second option. It's like, okay, perfect. Well, first I'll send you all of this. You get me all of this data. I need photographs, I need this information. And as soon as I've done that, I've got that. I can start working on it. I'll get an update to you within the next 48 hours. That way we can schedule out a call in 72 hours to go over it together. How does that sound? It's like, okay, perfect. Boom, easy. The whole point of feeling confident doesn't come from feeling confident. It comes from something you've done that you can back up with. It's like a first initial foundational thing. It's like, okay, I've done all of this. I'm super confident. Like, if you go into the gym and you've never been to the gym before, you're not gonna feel very confident. But if you've been going to the gym for years and years and years, you feel way more confident walking into any gym and getting some exercise done, right? Like you're not afraid of picking up the weight. You're not afraid of doing things, testing other things, doing more exercises, doing less exercises, doing different weights, more reps, less reps, all this sort of stuff. You're not afraid to change and to do things, right? But the first time you went in there, you were like, fuck, what do I do? And you just start testing things, right? Not really sure what to do. You don't really have the perfect form. You don't really have the perfect technique, etc., etc. And that's fine. The point of confidence is that it is something you earn. You can be delusionally confident, but it is not necessarily going to help you. It is going to boost your performance, and it is going to allow you to do more things. But earned confidence, it's much more valuable than whoop-de-doo confidence, okay? If you can earn some confidence, if you can earn it through hard work and effort, you will feel much more sure, much more certain of yourself. That's what I wanted to communicate in today's video. And with that said, I appreciate every single one of you guys watching until the end of the video. As per usual, I post videos every single day. So if these are the kinds of videos that you're interested in listening to or watching, let me know in the comments by, I guess, commenting, and subscribing. And stick around for new videos. I post every single day around the same time. It's a beautiful day, so it's going to be time to get back to work. And I will see you in the next one tomorrow. See ya.